Looks like we are live. Hi, Dr. Andy here. Um, since it's so early in the day, I actually didn't get any notifications that I would be going live today. On the fives, live on the fives, 11:05 Mountain Standard Time. And for everyone that doesn't know me, I am Dr. Andy. And I am literally like getting dressed going, I have no idea what we're going to talk about today on this live. And I even asked my kiddos, my pack, I'm like, okay, so what do you want to, what would you like the world to know about? And I was doing this when I was making dinner yesterday, and they were remarkably quiet about it, so nothing popped there. So I thought I would just continue on our last live. Actually, it wasn't our last live. One of the other lives where we were talking about the tool light and heavy and playing with what is light and heavy for you. Because if our target is to then know what is light and heavy for our animals, we first need to get a sense of it for ourselves. So you can go and find that live, getting that sense of light and heavy. And this is a tool from Access Consciousness. You can find out more about what that is at accessconsciousness.com. I am a certified facilitator, of all things animals, and have been for years with Access. It is one of my favorite things in the world. Consciousness is one of my favorite things in the world, not that it's a thing. In how I've used these tools in my own life and living with my own animals. And one of the very first tools you come in contact with when you start looking at Access is the light and heavy tool. And so this is like the groundwork for how I communicate with my pack and how I communicate with my clients' animals, and my clients for that matter, is the light and heavy tool. And that comes from asking a question. Because how often, I guess we'll talk about question today. See, if you just show up and open your mouth, something will come out, right? So let's talk about question. Questions create. When you decide something, when you think it's always has to be a certain way, actually, whenever you are thinking, you are concluding, and you are stopping the energy from ever creating more. Questions always allow for creation, for more, for the energy to move. And as soon as you decide you know what the answer is, you've cut off all other possibilities from even showing up. In your life, in your living, with your work, with your children, with your animals, like it is across the board. If you could ask a question to move the energy along, you have a chance for creation. You have a chance for other possibilities to show up. You have a chance for more in your life and living and with your animals. Sorry, I got an itch. I know I'm not supposed to touch my face. Thank goodness I'm all by myself. Except for you guys out there. So, what's a good question? Well, some of the really great questions that I utilize all the time is what else is possible here? And leave it at that. I do that with my clients. I'm like, well, what else is possible here? Well, it could be this, and it could be this, and it could be this. I'm like, you're not supposed to answer it. We're not looking for the correct answer. We're not looking for all the places you decided you were correct or you were wrong or you decided it has to look like. We're literally, what else is possible here? And allowing the universe to show us. Allowing our animals to show us what else is possible here. How does it get even better than this or better than that? Oh my gosh. Even if you're having the shittiest day, right? Like, how often do you get out of bed, you stub your toe, and what do you go to? Oh, it's going to be one of those days. What if, from now on, That is gone. That is not in your vocabulary. You no longer go to that energy. You get out of bed, you stump your stub your toe, and you go, how's it getting better than this? Because then you have a possibility of it getting better than this. As soon as you go to, oh, it's going to be one of those days, what are you going to get? One of those days. Okay? See how this is kind of working? So what else is possible here? How's it get even better than this? So you won the lottery. You won $50 million. You know what you do? You ask a question. How does it get even better than this? Why stop the energy? Why? You know, what if you're going along and you find a dime on the floor and you're like, whoa, how's it getting better than this? And the next day you're riding on the bus and you find a $20 bill. How's it get even better than this? And then the next day you lean down and you pick up a diamond bracelet and you go, this is awesome. It's never going to, this is awesome. Energy stops. Instead of continuing with, hi Neely, continuing with, how's it getting better than this? You got all this awesome stuff going on, ask for more. Right? You have the worst behavior problem with your animal you could ever imagine. Point of view right there. How's it get even better than this? Okay, that's a little bit opposite of what we generally think about and do about in this reality. So it's going to be a muscle you're going to have to build. Okay? And you're going to have to play with it. And you're going to have to keep doing it until it turns into your new habit. How does it get even better than this? Your puppy peed on the floor for the 5th time today. How's it get even better than this? Because it's going to pull you out of your point of view of dumb puppy, what's wrong with my dog, why can't it learn how to potty train? Not good questions. A lot of conclusions, a lot of limitations. Pees on the floor, once again, how's it get even better than this? Okay. Or pees on the floor. What else is possible here? Ask your questions. Ask, what other information do I require? Who else do I need to talk to? Where can I get more information about XYZ? So just some examples of questions. How can I be so stupid is not a good question, right? Now, what's right about all this, I'm not getting, is a fabulous question, especially for that puppy that's peeing on your floor for the 5th time that day, even though you've been out 40 times, right? It's just an example. Don't get hung up on it. But what's right about this, I'm not getting. And then breathe. I was just texting with a friend of mine about her senior dog, and I'm like, just stop and breathe here. Because how often do our minds, so our brains, we need a brain. We need a brain to run the entire nervous system, pretty much run your body, okay? You need a brain. A mind you can get rid of. You don't have to listen to your mind anymore, because your mind only has limitation as its primary way of functioning. It has all your past experiences and how they essentially screwed you over, and its main game is to quote-unquote keep you safe, which is probably one of the biggest lies sold and bought in this reality, period. So if you're thinking you're stinking, if you're thinking you're limiting you, if you're thinking just stop and ask a question. Even if that question is, what question can I ask here? And then breathe. I ask questions. I do a lot of what else is possible here. I do, how does it get even better than this? A lot of those is just so I don't engage my mind into thinking. They keep me closer to staying conscious to all the possibilities that are available. Some days are better than others, right? Like, cool. It's something you have to play with. And where was I going to go with that? It just went out that ear. But yeah, however you can stay out of your mind. Oh, yes. And how often do we have this whole litany of everything that could go wrong instead of Okay, what else is possible here? So questions move the energy. Question keeps you out of limitation. Question will keep you moving more consciously through your life and living and with your life and living. A question could create so much more than you've ever imagined with your animals. And there's a question, right? You know, ask a question. What question can I ask here to create more with my animals that I have never even imagined is possible? You know, what else is possible here? How does it get even better than this? What's right about this I'm not getting? It's a great one with the animals. What are you guys showing me here with this? Whatever it is, with this behavior, with, you know, information from their body, like with their puking, with, we always go to poop, right? With their diarrhea, right? Always goes back to poop, you know, no matter how hard I try. And that might be because of my point of view, maybe. And I will make a note, no guarantees that I'll remember, but we'll talk about points of view creating your animals in the next Facebook Live. But we got a couple, I don't know if we'll get quite there, but we have our light and heavy tool now. We have ask a question tool. If you ask a question, what's lighter? Follow that. That's following the energy. So maybe not, yeah. So what if next time on our next live together, whenever that is, we'll talk about following the energy, because I use that phrase, and you're probably like, huh? What do you mean, Dr. Andi? And that's what we'll go over on the next Facebook Live, which I do know I will be back here on Dr. Andi Harper page on Friday. This Friday, whatever. I think we finally made it to May. I think it's May 1st, actually. Don't quote me on it. This Friday, 4:05 Mountain Standard Time. So that is a Facebook Live on the 5s. And that is right after I am live on the radio show, Dr. Andi's World radio show on Inspired Choices Network. That's inspiredchoices.com. You can get in there live. Hi, Lori. How are you? You can get in there live. And there's a chat room there too. We all know how to use chat rooms. We can make comments. You can see what me and my producer are up to. And actually the title of this show is WTF. So it might need a warning. There might be some additional swearing in that one. So if that bothers you, don't listen to that one. And I think it's going to be all of my points of view about animal stuff in general, which may or may not be awarenesses, and you may or may not, you have to listen to my point of view and then do what you want with it. But I have no idea what's going to come out of my mouth on that show. So that is this Friday, inspiredchoicesnetwork.com, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Dr. Andi's World Radio Show, WTF. Any other questions, concerns, comments here? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this one up, put it in the record books. Remember, ask your questions. Even if that question is, what question do I ask here? What else is possible? How does it get even better than that? Or this? How does it get even better than this? And what's right about this I'm not getting? So that right about this I'm not getting is magical with your animals. Because what if all they're trying to give you is information and nothing's right, nothing's wrong, and oh my goodness, I could just keep going and going and going, and trying to do baby steps with consciousness is a bit difficult, and I'm gonna keep doing it and keep doing my best with it, and until we meet again, what if it's your points of view that create your animals? Bye-bye. Mwah.